Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Continuum Podcast. Damn it, Tony, you threw me off.
I didn't do anything. This is like McDonald's fries.
Oh, my gosh. I can't even think straight. We're like trying to do the show here, and then I'm trying to run through the opening, and all of a sudden Tony's like, oh, wait, what?
They got
just
a
tell
big-
me everyone seems to want to talk.
They got a McDonald's that says Eric Fullerton is the manager.
Yes.
Is back.
Yeah, this is from the old days of the server, man. You're in downtown Tortuga City.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Back when the McRib was back, that was
That was last year's McRib. That wasn't even this year's
Yeah.
McRib.
back. Did you ever hear about the McRib? Apparently it has something in it that causes cancer, but they leave it in anyway.
Like a rib? I don't know.
No. There's some chemical in the process of making it that causes cancer.
I
but
think
they
that
don't
might
even
be an
need to
urban
have it
legend.
in. No, it actually was proven.
Oh,
I mean,
That was a
it's-
while ago, wasn't it? They're like, please, because they had this large following of like hippie McRib people. And they
Hippie McRib? That sounds like
it's like
sounds like
you
a
know,
folk
the
singer.
Yeah, it's like the
And now
Grateful Dead.
opening for,
Yeah, it's
Jackson
like the
Brown, Hippie McRib.
No, it's like the Grateful Dead, but instead of like the Grateful Dead, they follow the McRib like nationally because it opens regionally all over the country, and they follow the McRib everywhere, and they're like, "Please stop requesting McRib, you will die." And they're like, "No way, man, we're gonna keep eating McRib." Till
All
we
right,
die."
well, hold on. The all things urban legend was Snopes. Let's see what Snopes says. Snopes McRib equals surplus pork. I don't even know what this means.
that means you're eating hooves and
It
snots.
says, I recently heard that McDonald's only offers the McRib when it can get its hand on a supply of surplus pork.
You got any sickly pigs laying around?
I don't know, surplus. See, I did a search for McRib cancer. Let me see. Let's just do a general for McRib cancer.
The Minecraft podcast, ladies and gentlemen, totally about Minecraft.
Sorry, I suppose we're
have
supposed to do
never
mine.
been about
We're-
totally Minecraft.
No.
I think
actually-
now's a good time to mention we're starting a new show. Creamy.
Yeah, it's getting renamed again because
Why?
It's called.
you just renamed it.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
What's it called? What's it called now?
It's WTF OMG BBQ sauce. But sauce is spelled really weird.
All right, here's a list of things that give you cancer.
In the McRib, because there's a whole list of them.
I don't know. It's just
The sauce, the pork.
no. It's just
gives me cancer.
I honestly don't see anything on. I mean, I did a search for McRib cancer.
Well,
And I
there was
didn't see anything.
Supposedly, there was whatever it uses to give it its barbecue or the smoky flavor. Apparently, it has a cancer carcinogen
All right, let me look for
that they
McRib.
don't need to use, but apparently they do anyway.
That's delicious.
Here's one that says somebody. This is just a forums post, so take that for what it's worth. But somebody says, by the way, I've never had one and never will because the McRib causes cancer, baldness, the runs, and AIDS. And AIDS is spelled with a Z.
Well,
They
it's
just
hip-
put it out.
hip-
No. The best part, they just put it out to control the population. It's too funny.
I had a McRib for the first time this year.
Here's a
And
Twitter status. I'm sorry, Tony. I got to bring this one up.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Here's a Twitter status from somebody called Strokey McChicken. Sorry, just had to bring that up. You had your first McRib this year?
Yeah, and I was literally like violently ill. It was horrible. It made me nauseous.
I'm sorry.
I'd
As funny as
probably,
it is, I'm sorry you died.
I'd probably eat one again, but whatever.
What?
It's like it's like crack cocaine or something. Like that was a horrible experience. When can I do that again? That would be fantastic.
Don't do drugs, children.
Yeah.
Unless you live in a more innocent time, like the 80s.
Don't do McRib, children.
Don't do the McRib, children.
Hey, I love the McRib.
Yeah, all right. So how's everybody?
I've returned with a vengeance, and I am attempting to build my observatory again.
That's good.
I spent a lot of time setting stuff up, and Mint came in with a stroke of his keyboard and removed it all.
Really, we're gonna do this on the air? Okay.
No, I'm
So-
just no. That's how I've been doing. I mean, I'm not saying something wasn't necessary. I'm just saying it's a little disappointing that all that work was for naught now.
Well, it's not for naught. We can turn
wrong.
it back on as soon as we can figure out what the problem is. I didn't delete, well, except for the Netherworld, which apparently got deleted, but I don't know how that happened.
It was more than I had an actual world too. That was stuff I was working on.
This problem is the problem with Bucket, which was actually stated in a previous article by the developer of World Edit.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about that. So, what is it? what's his name? SK89Q, is that what it is?
I think so.
All right. So he is the author of such, popular world tools such as World Guard and World Edit and Craftbook.
And to give him a little bit of history, he also was around during the HMod days, the original widely open source mod for Minecraft.
Right. That was kind of the first. Actually, it was kind of the first first major server mod.
Right.
That was server mod framework. Anyway, I think there were a couple of other ones that came out earlier, but it was the framework that allowed other people to create plugins, and then to add to his server mod. That was the really cool bit.
I think an interesting point to the storyline is what happened to HMod.
Okay, so yeah, all right. Basically, the article that SK wrote is talking about the state of modding in Minecraft, but I think probably in modding in general, there's some meta inferences to be made. But so at the end of HMod, sort of the community sort of fragmented, and as I recall, it was right about the time that they switched to beta.
I think it was before beta.
Was it before beta? Anyway, there was a fairly significant update, and the problem that came out was every time Minecraft rather updated, the server mod broke, and there was no support from Mojang. He didn't Notch didn't kind of tell them it was coming, and when he did, or when they found out about it, basically they were oh gosh, almost fell. When they did find out about it, it was the same time as everything else, and then they had to scramble to try and keep everything up. And the guy that wrote HMod was like, you know what, screw it. I'm bored. I don't like Minecraft anymore, and people are annoying. So he kind of abandoned it, and as with part of that, the community tried to take over, but like a lot of internet projects, it kind of didn't do well. Well, what was your memories of the situation, Scott?
My memory of the situation was, which is still currently active in Minecraft right now. A lot of people in the Minecraft community are very, very arrogant about this, about Minecraft in general. They're like, I paid for this game. You need to get off your ass and you need to fix it, or you shouldn't live. And it's like,
that's pretty much the general consensus of people on the internet.
No, it doesn't work.
Do it my way or die. That's pretty much how people think.
And a lot of people were up HMod's proverbial behind about him getting stuff working. And Heyo was like, I do this for fun. I don't do this for your benefit. I do this because I like doing this. And he got really fed up with the attitude from the community, and then he got even further enraged, I guess, because he expected some form of compensation if he was going to put up with the level of detritus that he was putting up with.
Okay, we have detrot. So he lived in Detroit, and it got him so depressed that he didn't want to.
It happens.
I know, I
That or-
understand.
yeah,
You
that
ever
or
been to
Cleveland.
Detroit? It's pretty depressing.
It is pretty depressing.
Not as bad
So
as Flint, Michigan.
I remember him saying, "I'm not doing this anymore," and I
Yeah.
remember him giving. He was at least polite enough to say, "I'm not doing this anymore," and gave people some time to get their affairs in order.
Yeah,
So,
right. There was a period of adjustment, but and basically he said, a bunch of people, and I think that the concept for Bucket at least started even before he quit.
yeah, Bucket said, most of the major developers for the HMod project that developed just the plugins came out and said, okay, well, what we'll do is we'll take over and create a Bucket mod. And then there was this grandiose, claims, a call to arms. It was going to be amazing. And then they were taking their time getting the Bucket API online. It wasn't happening fast enough for anybody, of course.
Oh, when Bucket first came out, I hated it.
Well, yeah, everybody did.
It's just like New Mommy, and I didn't like New Mommy.
And a lot of people were on Bucket's case, like, you need to come look at HMod and see if you can't get HMod back online in the interim. And they took one look at his code and said, no, we don't know what's going on here. And they turned around and went back to Bucket. And then one of the strange things that occurred was after Bucket looked at his code, about a week later, another person looked at his code and wrote a working version of HMod for the version that preceded
the way I understood it, it was way too complicated to update every time that Notch did.
Well, yeah,
like, it was basically having to be completely rewritten, as opposed to where.
But that's Notch's code, not
easier to fix.
Heyo's code, because Notch's code. A lot of programming developers have looked at Notch's code and have said, yeah, he writes his code backwards. He does a lot of weird, calls and strange coding environment subjects, which is fine. Notch can do whatever he wants to. It's his code. But it was interesting that the entire Bucket team said, no, we cannot fix Heyo's mod. And then one person came out of the woodwork and had it updated and running for the next version. And it worked. So that was interesting. It's like, so what was the truth in this situation?
Well, one of the biggest things that they wanted to do was they wanted to make it a lot more modular, which is refactor it for that. That's a admirable goal. As somebody that works in development occasionally, that's a good thing to do. You want to be able to find and modify the code easily, but. And that's one thing that, by all accounts, at least, that there were some issues, and Heyo would have to be modified more. The way that Bucket is written, they should be able to, well, at least ostensibly, the point of the Bucket project was that they wouldn't have to recreate every time. They wouldn't have to write from scratch or figure all this crap out whenever Minecraft updated.
And to a point, that is correct, and that is currently happening.
Yeah, I mean, well, at least that the plugins wouldn't have to be rewritten every time. And that was one of the things that people objected to with Heyo, with HMod, was even though the plugin, even though the Heyo plugin would be updated relatively quickly, because it made a whole bunch of changes every single time, all of your plugins would break. So it wasn't that you were just waiting for the server wrapper. You actually wound up having to wait for each plugin to update. And the point was that hopefully that wasn't going to happen with Bucket, although that has turned out to be less accurate than one might wish.
Yeah.
Is this a broken chunk over here?
Where is
broken
this?
chunks everywhere.
Because... Look, it used to say Gordon Freeman. Now it says Gordon Fruit, and then there's like sand in a square.
Where?
Cream.
Gordon Fur. Or
This-
Fra.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
It's in like a
Yeah, it's regenerated chunk.
Yeah.
So with the eventuality of most plugins, Heyo went to the wayside. It's still being updated. There's still people that still use a Heyo as a mod, although it is fractured and a lot of people don't do it.
Oh crap,
I-
baby chickens.
Heyo turned into Canary and became another mod, I guess.
Yeah.
Anybody want to back me up on that one?
I'm not sure whether if it became it or it's just kind of like the other server wrapper.
Gordon Fro.
Well, one of my favorite plugins for Minecraft is Zanzmod. And I love Zanzmod to death because I think it's the greatest thing in the world. It's a mini map.
It's a client side map though.
Yeah, it puts a client side little. The latest version is it looks like a pocket watch, but the other version was a more technical looking radial map that went into the top corner of your screen.
If you're looking at the video, you can actually see what you can. Because I'm running it. I'm running the new version, which is Raise.
Yes, I couldn't be bothered to install it.
It works fine. It wasn't much more difficult to install than Zan's. Certainly not when Zan's required mod loader and all that other crap. Oh my gosh.
Used to not, then it did. Now it doesn't again.
Yeah.
Weird. The guy who wrote Zanzmod, that little mini-map program, doesn't write it anymore. Somebody else took over the project. And I'm assuming since it's changed its name, somebody else took over the project again. What that person did for Zanzmod is he went off and wrote a new mod that was a new server wrapper. That was pretty much what Canary, HMod, and Bucket was, but it was his version of it. And so we were seeing a lot of modders just fracturing off and doing whatever the heck they felt like doing.
And that's really the problem, and that's kind of what the situation that we're into. So if you play on a server and you enjoy it, and it's got permissions and it's got controls that keep people from griefing, or it's got pretty much anything, it warps. If it has generally anything that makes your life easier,
And you have a really stressed out admin.
Well, yeah, exactly. But because of that, it's running a server mod. Vanilla Minecraft isn't really that good in SMP.
He just added whitelisting about 5 versions ago.
Yeah.
And that's about as close as you get to any form of control in your server as to who comes on and who doesn't.
Right, and so there's no, there's no like built-in systems when it comes for things like different. Who'd we lose? I think we lost Hunter.
Oh well.
Yeah. Wow.
He wouldn't say anything anyway.
He doesn't he doesn't podcast with us. Weird.
So if you have any sort of any of those things, that's what's necessary. And anybody that does multiplayer games could have told Notch that was going to be necessary. But he didn't want to do it. And so not only did he not want to do it, he kept making noises like he was going to allow people he was going to allow people to do the. Oh my gosh, I'm getting pushed off by these snowballs. He was going to allow people to do modding. He had in conversations with the Bucket folks to be like the official server wrapper thing. And then, I don't know, I guess he just got busy and decided it wasn't important enough anymore. I don't know.
Yes. Even though that's pretty much his...
Oh yeah, so instead of fixing, the various problems in the full release of the game, I think he's bored. I think that's what it comes down to.
Well, he doesn't even work on it anymore.
Well, he's just released Cobalt, and he's also got Scrolls.
Okay, I'd really like him to finish a game,
I know.
before.
Well,
now Jeb's taking over.
Jeb's taking over. Yeah.
Well, great.
We got somebody.
So anyway, the idea is that you got all these modders, and they all are doing, they're all trying to fix similar, or many of them are trying to fix similar problems.
Chubby, stop.
Chubby's not on the call.
Yes, but he is listening.
Oh. And so you get things like the thing that SK says, which I don't disagree with. Most of the Bucket mods out there are probably to control fire and TNT to prevent griefing. I would say if you extended that, I would say that to griefing in general, I would say that most of them did. So you get a ton of people doing the same things, which isn't. I'm not sure I agree that it's the end of the world, because I think that everybody likes to handle. If somebody wants to handle things in a slightly different way, that's fine. But there are certain things, and we were kind of talking about this before in the pre-show. Yeah, whatever. There are certain things that need to be part of the server wrapper. There are like permissions and user management, user roles. I think those things need to be baked in from the beginning, because if they're not, then you get multiple competing standards, and you get a whole bunch of people saying, well, I think it should be this way, and another group of people that say, well, no, I think it should be another way. And
we need to go back to the difference between Bucket and HMod, which HMod had all that. It
Right.
was when you turn on HMod, the Essentials plugins that we can't live without was built into HMod. Permissions was built into HMod. Teleportation built into HMod.
Right. And you may not have been the perfect way to handle it, so you could add something else, but you could always depend on those core features. With Bucket, there is nothing that's core. There's no... I mean, the Bucket wrapper, all it does is provide hooks that let you do all this other stuff. So you can't count on a particular permissions, for example.
Yeah.
You have to count
tags.
on... You have to just handle it. You have to assume... And then what happens is... so you get people like Voxel Sniper that are like, screw it, I'm not even going to bother with permissions. I'll just put my own permissions file in the... They don't deal with permissions nodes. They just deal with their own. They say if you want to give somebody permissions, you've got to add them manually to the config file.
Permissions is the biggest pain in the ass.
And that's the thing. It shouldn't be. The way that MCMyAdmin does it should work. It should be an issue of you've got groups, and you define what permissions those groups have. And then you have users, and you assign users to groups. It should be that simple. There shouldn't be any other problem. It is that simple in 90% of the software world. This idea of having to manage, different YAML files and juggle and convert between different versions and everything else like that is bogus, and it shouldn't need to happen. So anyway, so it's the kind of thing that SK is talking about, and he's talking about the fact that Bucket is even fragmenting amongst itself now, with some of the plugins going through the Bucket forums, some of them moving to Bucket Dev, and then
some of them running through Bucket, and other ones requiring the new Sprout.
Yeah, then Spout is the whole new
dragon
side.
just came through and just cleaned out every single snowman I could in front of me.
Oh, you made it. You summoned a dragon.
Yes.
Yeah, he just went Skyrim.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Is that gonna attack anything and blow up the skywalk here?
It doesn't seem to be.
That's good.
I don't care if it blows up the skywalk. The skywalk needs to go.
So anyway, with
It happens. Get used to it.
with the latest versions of the development platforms, it's gotten really hard to get a lot of the just the basics down and working and running, and so we can move on to having fun and being cordial to our users instead of telling them I don't know what I'm doing and I'm really, really, really tired and I really don't want to deal with this anymore because I've been fighting with this for 3 days now and I have made zero headway.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you get is you get all of the admins get to the point where they're burned out.
And you talk to the Bucket team, and they act like they are the keeper of the worlds, and their way is the best way, and they give it a lot of fanfare and a lot of detail, and they just say this is the way it should be done, and this is the best way, and then you see it in practice, and it just sucks.
Well, and I've talked about this before. I've considered offering, hey guys, because this is what I do. I work with computers and I do user experience. So it's kind of one of those, just trust me, people aren't going to like it if it works this way. But then again, they're doing what developers do. They're saying, "Oh, this works, and this makes sense to me." And so that's what's important. It works for me. It's good enough. Why should I spend extra effort to do something when this one works? So it doesn't phase them, in other words, to manage permissions using a YAML file. So why make some sort of a better way to do it, or to use some sort of they understand Unix permissions and how all of that's going to work. Why are there red cows with
mushrooms?
Nice. Awesome.
This is one of the things Notch worked on before he
that's great.
Instead of awesome stuff, yeah.
I don't want awesome stuff. I want the server to work.
That's exactly right.
No, I want cows with black eyes and mushrooms on their back.
And you go into the Bucket development side, and you try to stay with Bucket, and you go, this is the best mod that has the best chance of surviving the onslaught of Minecraft. And you look at what the developers are doing. And SQ98 is complaining about developers stealing other developers' projects, claiming it's their own, and then putting in half the functionality of the original plugin.
Yeah. I mean, there's no central authority, and so that's what's weird, is that there's this sort of this central idea of we're going to let people do whatever they want, but at the same time, they're not actually making it easier. They're making it harder. So I don't know what the answer is, and it has the potential to kill.
14 is the answer.
Yeah, that's 42 or whatever. It has the potential to kill Minecraft because there's not enough single-player value in Minecraft, I believe, for it to be a long-term success. The greatest part about Minecraft is that it has SMP value. And so the question really is going to come down, what sort of SMP support is there? And the answer is, right now, there isn't any legit. Nobody wants to play it. Everybody thinks that SMP is great right up to the time that their stuff gets griefed. And then they're like, yeah, it's not worth it. And then they spawn 2,500 blocks south and east.
I have no idea what you're talking about. And I take offense to that, okay?
Why isn't it?
Well, I'm one of the
anymore.
admins that sit around and I am a jobless bum. I have nothing better to do than work on the server, and I can't. I look at it and I just loathe it with hatred and pure hostility because I cannot do what I want to do because I look at the environment and all I see is everything that is wrong with it.
Yeah, and I kind of feel. I won't say I feel the same way. In my case, I deal with problems all day long. I don't want to come home and spend hours doing it. I don't want to come home and try and spend hours working with an unfriendly system. So,
and you look at these other servers that are amazing and wonderful, and then you figure out who their admins are. They're the developers for the Bucket project.
Yeah,
they're the developers for the plugins themselves. They know all the little intricacies. Yeah, I can't pronounce that one either. And they know what they're doing.
Well, I've also tried to. I've even gone so far as to try to recruit one of the guys that I work with that's a Java developer and been like, hey, why don't you come and fix this shit for us? Gosh. Anyway, so when you get on our server and things aren't working right or your world disappears, it's not because we don't care. It's because we don't really know if it's even possible to fix. Honestly, one of the biggest things was that after 1.8 came out, 1.7 we were stable. Everything was running. Everything was great. Why isn't this guy taking any damage anymore?
He is occasionally. I don't know. Seems to have a smaller and smaller hitbox the less health he has.
Oh, that's great. So anyway, so at 1.7 we were out and we were stable. Everything was wonderful. But then 1.8 came along and Bucket changed, and so it took us a while to recover to that. And then 1.9 and then the eventual full release
1.0.
came out, and it was like, well, now what are we gonna do?
And you talk to if you go into the Bucket forums and you dig up the very first forum post where they give you the I can't remember the name, the fanfare of what Bucket it was supposed to be when it came out. They promised a lot of big things, and then when you 6 months into their project, you ask them where are all these things. They go, oh, we're not bringing those out until 1.0 gets, or until Minecraft goes to release. So a year later into the project, and you're going, well, where is my auto updating plugins repository?
Right.
And they're like, well, that's not happening till 1.0 comes, or till release. Well,
Way to
release
go,
is here,
Chevy.
and the repository still doesn't exist.
Right.
I
And
can't just turn on my server and have it go, there's some updates. I'm going to go ahead and update for you.
well, and it was one of those. The other side of all of that was that they, well, hey, I think I just made level 146.
I am at 70.
Um,
I can't go any higher. That stuff's swarming around my head, and I can't pick it up anymore.
Killed it? How many levels did you get?
I think I'm level 146.
That's amazing.
For killing the dragon.
Yeah. I was level like 9 when it started. Anyway.
Now Chubby's running around on top of me, stealing all my orbs that I can't absorb.
Chubby's like, get some. Get some. It's capitalism. Deal with it.
Capitalism.
Oh, wow. I did not know
Oh,
that.
what is this? Oh. What just
That's
happened?
cool.
Oh, I just went into the end.
Huh?
I just went into the end.
From
The credits or the end? The end.
Like fighting
The credits?
the dragon. The end.
We just did that.
No. Like I'm in the end. Like I went through the end portal.
Where was it?
Hang on. I'll see if I can find it. Don't go too far. It was near. It was there.
See how
Here it
these
is. Here it
orbs
is. Right
around my
here.
head?
It's right where the dragon died. Oh, now I got the flying is not enabled thing.
Awesome.
Because my game mode got set to 0.
That would be really cool if I could do that.
Anyway, come to where I am.
Is it just a little spot with the?
Yeah, it's like down. Can you see it?
I don't even see you anymore.
I'm here. Where are you all?
Right where you were when you said you couldn't fly.
Are you inside that spiral thing?
No, I was above it.
Oh yeah, down. Come down. You see it?
Holy crap! It just like put that there.
I guess so.
Chubby's trying to call.
Trying
Oh,
to
yeah,
call
and
us.
if you try to destroy them, these things.
I haven't
they
yet.
explode, but nothing happens.
Uh,
Oh, I guess I do. Something does happen now. He fixed it.
What happens if
So-
we end the war? What happens if we win?
Nothing. If you win the game, you get the credits, and then it puts you in a different area of the original map.
Alright,
If I'm
fall.
correct.
I just hit infinite fall or something.
Yeah.
So anyway, but without sort of, because I remember one of the things is that they were trying to talk to Notch and they were trying to get it to the,
They were at it. They were at his studio.
yeah. And I wonder, I mean, what happened with that?
I tried to watch their Minecon panel, but I just sat there and just hatred and loathing just seethed through me. I was like, I don't like this. I guess I'm a bad person. I don't know.
Yes, you do, Tony. You do spawn. Good for you.
No, I guess it just, and I understand where you're coming from. And if it were working, it would be fine. Really. If the idea of Bucket is great the idea behind having plugins that you don't have to screw around with, and the idea of having a modular system so that whenever there's an update, not everything breaks. That's all great. But it's not there. And it's actually seems to be just causing more problems, especially since the people that are involved have gotten bored and they have no reason to keep going. Now, I mean, I look at it from the perspective, what's interesting is I look at it from like other mods, like Source Mod for Team Fortress 2, and it doesn't have the same sort of problems because the modding is at least tacitly, if not explicitly endorsed by Valve. And so there's this...
Yeah, I mean, Valve just says, look, here it is, do what you want with it.
Look at the Battlefield 1943 mods. The one that went from Battlefield 1943 and brought you into the Gulf War. Those people got picked up by the Battlefield makers, and they're now developers for the game. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
And then you look at Minecraft, and no.
Oh, look at Team Fortress. That was a mod.
And I think that's, I mean, I kind of agree with Heyo on that sentiment, because I think that's what Heyo was looking for, was I am fairly good at making mods for Minecraft. Why don't you, acknowledge my achievements or...
Oh, yeah, they just really screwed Heyo, too. I mean, Notch just kind of... Because that was even... I mean, and I think that's the other side behind what, kind of what happened to Heyo, is he got... the Bucket guys at least got, like, the Minecon and everything else like that. Heyo, if you remember at the time, Notch was, like, on a tirade against mods. And he was mostly talking about the infinite item spawner type mods, but he kind of... The intimation was that all mods are bad. Anything is bad, and I don't want to deal with it. And I think Heyo got like shafted. I don't know.
Multiverse is turned off, isn't it?
It shouldn't be.
No, Multiverse is part of Bucket.
No.
No,
Multiverse
it's its own
Core, it's its own plugin. The multiverse concept is built. The multi-world concept is built into Bucket. Multiverse plugin, and it should be. It's not disabled, but it is one of the ones that's throwing errors. So, anyway, so that's the situation.
Trying to get in on the call for like the last 10 minutes.
Oh, well, add him. You can't add him?
You can.
Oh, all right. Hold on, I'll bring him.
I've told you like 3 times. Like Trevor's trying to get on.
How do we get out of the darkness?
MVTP W Continuum.
No slash?
/MVTP.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Jackie. Jackie boy! Why are you throwing eggs at him?
Jackson!
MVTP continuum, space continuum.
W
I'm
continuum.
curious what's going to happen to Minecraft or to the modding community in the near future.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you look at something like as strong as Multiverse, and it hasn't been updated since October.
Yeah. Well, and then there's,
Hello.
Bucket, my chubby.
Hello,
Bucket
Chubby.
going,
Yes.
going as far as it's going, and there's still people running around out there thinking they can devise, develop, or create a better server wrapper than Bucket. Now, I'm not saying Bucket's the end-all, be-all server wrapper, but it's like you gotta stick to your guns. At some point in time, you just need to stick to your guns and go with what you got.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the reason we went with Bucket. We didn't look at any of the other ones. We needed it. It was there. And it's supported by, MC My Admin and most of the game service providers and everything else. They support Bucket because it's the big one. So, And it gets me. I mean, it does. It seems very much like kind of the Linux community, where you get all these people, and instead of getting together and getting behind one distribution, everybody's like, no, I want this one, or I want that one. And even within distributions, you get people complaining about, well, I want this desktop, I want that window manager, I want that browser thing, whatever. Or you get down to the real nuts and bolts about, well, I don't like them because they do it just like Windows, and somebody else is like, well, I don't like them because it's not enough like Windows, and it's like, all right,
because it looks too much like Apple.
Like, whatever.
Ubuntu is very Apple-esque.
It is.
But I find it in a very good way. I like it.
I like Ubuntu, but I like Puppy, and there's like
I like Puppy just because
Ubuntu, Devbuntu, Xbuntu.
Yeah.
There's so many Ubuntu distros, and they're all fantastic. They all have their useful purposes. Some prefer the KDE interfaces. Some prefer the Debian. I think.
But then you get back to it, and it's like, okay, why? And this is the thing why, when again we go back to the Apple conversation, but when a gaming person comes to me and they want a game and they say, what kind of computer should I buy? And I'm like, well, you should buy a PC. And when mom comes to me and says, hey, I want to, or they say, somebody that's a techie comes to me and says, I want a smartphone, what do you think? And then you have to ask them all these kinds of questions, because, well, what do you want? What do you value? Whatever. But when my mom comes, or when my dad comes, I say, buy an iPhone. Yeah. There's no question.
I still yell at my mother.
Oh, no, Windows Phone. They're so awesome.
Yeah. Well, I still yell at my mother for not having an iPhone because she just re-upped her contract with T-Mobile, and I was like, well, if you came with me, you would have had an iPhone, and your phone wouldn't have turned off on you every 15 minutes because it's Android. Not saying Android's bad. I don't mind Android. I kind of like the Android operating system.
Yeah.
It's just when it comes to a phone,
that's actually a good reference right there. The Android operating system is a lot like the modding in Team Fortress. Every time they have an update, everything breaks.
Yeah. Well, I like my iPhone because it just works. I don't have to think about it. Yeah, it's a bit dumbed down. It's locked down. I can jailbreak it if I want to. I can do everything the Android phones can do, and just as easily as the Android phones do it. Because a lot of the stuff that you can't do on Apple phones, you can't do on Android phones without rooting them.
Is there a way to make the credits go faster?
No.
No.
But you can correct all the spelling mistakes on the credits.
It's completely stupid.
So it's with development in general. It's like, well,
if you want to end it, press escape. I believe.
Yep,
yeah.
You got it.
Do you want it to work, or do you want it to be amazing and awesome and give you all this extra functionality?
I want both. I also want the world on a platter.
In 5 minutes.
Anyway. All right. Well, we've been talking for about 45 minutes. Is there any other news other than the fact that we hate the state of Minecraft modding at the moment?
Terraria?
Chuck Norris simply does walk into Mordor.
There was some interesting... Yeah, if you type that into... If you go to Google Maps and type walking directions from the Shire to Mordor, it'll say, one does not simply walk to Mordor.
I forgot to turn the snow back on. I can turn the snow on.
Isn't that where it all started? Is you trying to turn off weather and completely broke the server?
No.
Yes. That was partially my fault, though.
No. I meant on the what you call it? On the broadcast. I have actually a snow overlay that's running. So don't worry about it. It's cool.
Well, anyway,
it's cool. It's cool, yo.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Due to issues I was having, I had to put the other podcast on our same stream. So let's let people know that the other one is a very explicit podcast.
Oh, well, you should probably be careful with that, though.
Well, it comes marked explicit.
Yeah. So, what do you guys? When do you guys record that? And do you have like a standard location?
Well, we don't have a schedule. We need to find something that better records. We found something that recorded, the what do you call it? Google
format, the Google Groups Hangout.
The Google Groups Hangout that would record it all, but it recorded it in its own special
proprietary.
Don't tell him. You're supposed to let him keep stumbling.
Proprietary format.
Priapism?
None of my many format converters could see it, look at it, or do anything with it.
And
what just looked at it and went, I have no idea what this is.
What was this that was recording?
BB something.
Flash.
Huh.
BB Flashback Express Recorder.
Yeah.
Which was what it basically all it does is just records Flash.
Huh. Weird.
But when it's done, it takes like 4 hours for it to completely finish rendering everything. And then if it crashes in the 4 hours it's rendering, or in the 3 hours it takes to convert it over, you lose it. It's just gone.
You should. Why are you? If it's audio only, why are you recording?
No, it can't be audio only.
The format is Google Groups. So our W2F barbecue sauce show is actually open to anybody who wants to show up.
That'll work well.
It did work well last night when you did it.
That's because nobody showed up.
Somebody did show up. We didn't want
That's
them to
true.
show up. Or
That's true. We did have a visitor.
But
be fine with somebody showing up. I don't care.
The format of the show is that we show up and we talk and we goof off and we do whatever we want to and talk about whatever we want to, and there's no whole bar. We're not talking about this. We're not talking about that. It's not. The consensus is not Minecraft only. We talk about everything, but the format is through Google Groups. So we try to record the entire Google Groups window, including the random YouTube windows we pull up and all the chat windows with people's heads popping in and out talking, and Tony's lack of a webcam and his crushed cigar photo.
I should smoke a cigar while I'm talking. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, should.
Oh, that sounds so good.
But we need something that'll record that Google Groups window and will allow us to stop the recording and then pick up the recording 5 seconds later and not crash out while it's compiling the previous recording. It should compile it all while it's recording, which is what
Fraps
does, but for some odd reason it's not recording it.
Fraps records a single entity, and there's multiple Flash things running at the same time. So it only records one, and it gets screwed up. So if you try to bring up the YouTube on it, it just goes to the bottom section of the boxes of people talking.
Can you use Manycam?
You can't record Manycam from Fraps. Fraps records Windows screens. It doesn't record. You can't say record this section of the screen, no matter what's on it.
But that's why I said
grab a window and drag it around, it'll follow that window around.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Why can't you use Manycam then?
Manycam is not a window. Manycam is a virtual webcam.
Yeah, Fraps isn't pointed at like a virtual webcam.
It won't look at the webcam.
No, Fraps looks at the screen. Looks at like a game screen. Like my Minecraft window right now, no matter where I would move it, Fraps would follow it around. So I'd have to find a way for it Manycam to output to a Flash, viewer, a window, and then record that window.
Huh.
Yeah. We did have a theory of taking a second computer and have it Fraps the Google Groups window. That way, in the background, we could flip Manycam around and show our desktops instead of our webcams, and have a little bit more. You wouldn't see the production side of what we're doing. You would just see that. But we require a second computer capable of recording Fraps, and I really don't want to kick Creamy off his best computers just so we can record the show. So, podcasting 101, children. It's a mess, and we're it's still in its infancy, and we'll have another show for you guys soon.
Podcasting on a budget. It's not easy.
No, it's not.
It's really not. That's one of the reasons
No.
why. Although I will tell you one thing, and that's that Christmas sales are awesome for such things. That's how I actually got all of my a lot of my podcasting software was through bundles at Christmas time. I don't know if they do that in the PC world as much as they do in the Mac.
They do.
But bundles are great. Bundles
or pawn shops. They're really
pawn shops.
Oh no, you'd be surprised. I got this really nice mic. I don't have a boom stand for it, so I'd have to hold it. But it sounds a lot better than what I'm using now.
Do you want a suggestion on that? Because there's a really great way to do it. What you do is you go to IKEA and you buy one of those $5 desk arm lamps. You tighten the screws so that it can handle the heavier weight of the microphone, and boom, you got a, well, no offense, no joke, but you have a boom stand.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a podcaster trick. So I actually bought a.
I love IKEA hacks.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually bought a a boom stand, but I was gonna use the IKEA one before I found a good deal on this one.
And the other thing is, your what's that flower or something that you use?
Soundflower.
Yeah, the Apple, the IBM, the PC equivalent of it.
Virtual audio cables.
Sucks.
It really does. It's terrible.
Oh my god! You have to know the whatever code it gives it. It doesn't have names for anything. You can't say pick up this Windows audio and put it here. No, it's pick up A177B73 and then put it down. Whoa!
It is pretty wretched.
And then it doesn't work half the time. Or it's like you turn on and all of a sudden halfway through you just turn into a robot and it goes beep.
Quick, somebody wind up Creamy again.
This is why I'm hesitant to just record everything without you, man, because you have the only thing that I think Apple's are best for doing.
See, Creamy, now, in Creamy's defense, he did go out and buy an Apple, and then it blew up on him.
Yeah, it did blow up. So.
Physically flaming ball of fire. So, and that's not an Apple problem, that's a computer problem, but he did have an Apple at one point in time. So he did try to do that.
How do you, have an i5 in such a small device without any kind of heat sink and not expect it to catch on fire?
Sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All you kids come out there with your little high-pitched, whiny voices. Go, well, you should just get an Apple. He did. And then it blew up.
Grape soda's bad.
And again, that falls under the whole thing of podcasting on a budget.
Yeah.
Where are you, Tony?
What do you mean, where am I?
I built something for you next to your house.
Did you?
I did. You should come to me.
Mentor,
well, I don't have a compass anymore.
Are you available for your
dates,
deranged skills and abuse and terraforming? Did you get that thing
right now? No, I didn't get it installed because we were gonna play with it.
Where are you? Where are you from my house? North, east, west, what?
He doesn't know. Being that north, more complaints about Minecraft. Notch finally in 1.0 reversed the direction of the sun, so now north is no longer north and south is no longer south.
You know what? You can't miss it.
Did you just build a penis?
It is a giant.
Oh, no, come on. Don't be that guy.
This will be my church.
I built it for Tony.
It's awesome.
I'm going to tear it down. But No, we have a rule against phalluses on the server.
No! I was gonna hold services there. At least let me fly and it's a steel penis. That's awesome. Steel jump.
Chubby.
No! You're rigging it for explosion. No!
Do you see what's going on up there, Tony?
Do you see what Chubby's doing? Do it again, Chubby.
Here. Look at it from down here.
Wait, right, go back and do it again.
I just got...
You don't need to say what's going on.
That's bad. Okay.
Okay.
Bad, okay.
That's awesome.
Oh, there's a cream for that.
And we've killed another podcaster.
You stay classy, Continuum.
All right, and on that note. All right.
Because I can look at it from my sky house. Stare at smoking.
That's going to bring up property.
It's
values.
it's a rocket ship. That's what it is.
What? How can you misinterpret that?
It's a rocket ship.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and those are the habitat modules.
It looks like the Capitol building for Tallahassee.
Is it really?
I'm not making this up, but yeah, the Capitol building in Tallahassee, Florida, is 2 domes with like a tower in the middle. The first time I saw it, I started laughing my ass off.
2 domes with a tower in the middle. That's great. So, all right. I think we're going to call it. That's about 56 minutes of recording. So, basically the answer is that
7.
bucket
Don't
sucks.
have an answer.
We're hopeful that something will fix it. So, all right. TJ is not around. So how's he going to read the thing? Let me make Tony read it
right now.
Tony, read the credits.
Tony, read the credits, Tony.
Go.
Where do I read it from? What?
Come on, you're supposed to have the Google Docs. You should have had it up and ready.
Yeah, there's always interesting, entertaining pictures in there.
Count on me for any. I'm not reliable.
You can follow us on Twitter. We're at ContinuumMC. You can also check out our server. It's continuum.minecraftgsp.com. That's also the website, continuumminecraftgsp.com or continuummc@engine.com. We don't really use the forums anymore. If you want to donate, you want to help out the server, go to mintconditionstudios.com/donate. All of our Twitters, at Creamy Grandpa, that's Nick over there. At Mint Condition, that's me. At Searing Might, that's TJ, and he's working on an important paper. Scott is on Google Plus, but hasn't decided that Twitter's important enough yet.
He's on Twitter.
Oh, Scott's on Twitter?
No, you have to go to
at
watch
Minecraft.
Jerk.
What?
I didn't give it.
You have to watch the podcast to find my Twitter handle.
Okay.
The WTF barbecue sauce.
And then Tony is at _a _mountainside.
There we go. I don't. Don't follow that though.
Which reminds me.
Why
Tony
not?
Was following Kim Jong-il the day before he died. So I think there may be a coincidence.
A coincidence. So when Tony when Tony follows you, it's kind of like an omen.
You're next,
right.
Ricky.
You're next.
You said Ricky Lake.
Oh, you are following Ricky Lake.
Oh,
You're also following Justin Bieber and there's all kinds of weird Kmart. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
I kind of hope they all die. That's good.
Hey, what's wrong with PBR?
What's wrong with PBR? Just
All right then.
It's time to go. That's all.
He's a very morbid person.
He is.
I'm very positive. A lot of positive things going on.
Be sure to check out our other podcast, the one with Mint not existing. Just like you asked for.
That makes everybody happy, apparently.
Apparently.
No way, man. We gotta get you on there. Be awesome.
Awesome Foxum.
There you go.
Foxum.
I just like how he was like, "How come you guys didn't include me in it?" Like, because it's the Google groups, and you've said like 6,000 times that you can't use it because it's an Apple.
It works now that I installed Lion.
Okay, well, that's why we didn't include you, is because you said a million times that you couldn't.
It's fine. It's fine. I know people don't love me. It's okay. I can live with it.
No, don't tear it down.
I didn't tear it down. I just turned it into glass.
Oh, okay. Well, that
Still
makes it
gotta
more
go.
dangerous. It's a glass wang.
It's a giant glass schlong.
Makes it more dangerous.
I don't know what other. We could turn it into other neat things. We could replace. With I can turn it into lava.
No, because it'll move and then you won't be able to remove it.
Yeah. Replace 20 with 7. There. Now nobody will be able to. It's adminium. It's an adminium schlong.
How did you guys make it so fast? Jesus.
He's an expert builder when it comes to schlongs.
It is. I have a certain je ne sais quoi when it comes to giant Minecraft peni.
How do you say?
This is je ne sais quoi. You make my ass twitch. All right. You never seen that? You never seen that movie?
What?
You people make my ass twitch. You never seen that movie? It's that Meg Ryan movie.
Who the hell in a Meg Ryan movie says you make my ass?
It's that Meg Ryan and Kevin Kline movie. What's it called? Oh my gosh.
I'm stuck in the penis.
He's like a French dude.
Yeah, he's a French thief, I think.
Yeah, something like that. A French Kiss. That's what it's called.
Yeah. Don't go down there, Chubby. No, Chubby, don't go. Oh no. There you go. Hold him in. Oh, he made it out.
I told you not to rub it.
Je ne sais quoi. Anybody here see the new Sherlock Holmes?
Not yet.
No, I'm going to. I think tomorrow.
My God.
Is it good?
Oh my God. It's so good.
I'm seeing it tomorrow, so.
Okay.
You
I'll
can tell me-
spoil it
you-
for you
you can-
and
you
tell
can
you
tell
he
me-
dies at the end.
Oh, he dies at the end?
I don't know. Just pulling shit out of my butt.
No, I can't. Yeah, I'm excited to
I
see
don't know
it.
who he is, so it doesn't matter.
You don't know who Sherlock Holmes is?
No, who dies at the end. It's a good movie, though. I would suggest you go see it. I'm not going to spoil it for you or anything nefarious like that.
Is it better
Right.
than the Muppets?
I wouldn't know because I haven't seen the Muppets, and I'm not going to see the Muppets. So, yes, it is better than the Muppets.
You're not going to see the Muppets.
Nope.
Do you have a reason for not seeing the Muppets?
I don't care.
You don't care? That's
I'm
so
a very nice person. I don't care.
That's so apathetic.
Yes, it is.
Damn it.
You want to call my mommy now?
Yes.
Yes, I will. I will.
He's being very apathetic. It's like, why? What is he being apathetic about? The Muppets. Oh, it's because I never showed it to him when he was a kid. Oh. Makes perfect
Really?
sense. I remember watching the kids show of the Muppets, or the Baby Muppets. I remember watching that as a kid. But the Muppets in general were not high on my, wow, this stuff's amazing list.
Really?
I wasn't one of those crazy children who screamed at their parents for a Tickle Me Elmo. I was like, nope. I know, that's Sesame Street. Leave me alone. It just didn't enthuse me one way or the other. Star Trek, love that to death. But, yeah.
Really? Alright.
Star Wars, yeah, whatever.
Hey!
That. I like Star Wars. I love Star
Not
Wars.
you. Mister, I want to turn off the music just because, you know, us youngsters listening to our devil worship music.
You people. All right. Well, it's an hour and 3 minutes. I'm gonna cut. We can keep going, but I'm gonna go ahead and call the recording here.
This one's
All
called
right.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Can you stop pumping the ball?
Yeah, the music is still playing. They can still hear you.